Hello everybody, this is my video response to Truthslayer's video on TNA wrestling and how he's losing faith with the company. I came off a little bad, but I totally agree with him on this. TNA is a company that's been pissing me off for quite some time. Just because, to me, none of it really makes sense. They definitely throw it in our faces every week that they're supposedly, WWE is basically shit, and that they are this glorious thing, but they don't really prove it. Each and every week we see the dumbest things possible, and I can't, about every month something new comes out and it's just as stupid or more stupider than the last. Like, first you had the Justice Brotherhood, Prince of Justice Brotherhood of all superheroes on a wrestling show. Then you have a fake Sarah Palin impersonator. I'm just wondering what the hell can possibly come up next. They debuted Suicide. I'm not for that character. I don't get the point of taking a video game character and placing him in the real world to basically sell a video game, because it's not doing the greatest sales that it should be. That kind of irritates me. Instead of actually making the game the right way, they decided to go the other approach and advertise it by placing the wrestler on a television show. Then I'm just gonna go by divisions. You have the Knockouts division. After they left, after Kale Kim left, there's been this void that needs to be filled. There's some good talent there that you could see good feuds building, but yet they continuously not develop the other ones. And they push like the craziest people that no one would ever expect. They're pushing Christy Hemme when I definitely thought that ODB was next in line, since she was probably she was next to Gail Kim. But no, Christy Hemme gets her shot. And it sort of goes in line like this. Truthslayer did talk about cheerleader Melissa who's under the mask and who actually should be wrestling. At one point in time in the near future, they should have that. That'd be a great angle to have her basically give up the whole burqa and all that kind of stuff and go against Kong. Something like that. There's storylines already in the cards that they're not utilizing them properly, and it's just sad because this stuff is basically in the cards and they go a totally different direction. The tag team division. Everybody keeps saying the definition of a tag team is not two wrestlers just thrown together. It's two people under one name, most likely dressing the same way. Now, though I do like tag teams both kind of ways, two guys thrown together and something like that, I don't quite agree with how they actually book their tag team division either. Because to me, there's no real tag team division at all. I think WWE kind of has a better one if they utilize right, if they all put them on one brand, or actually unify the titles, one or the other. I think WWE would have a better tag team division. TNA only has one tag belt and only on one show, and they're still not doing it right. They only have about 4 tag teams, and the greatest tag team, who's the most over, being LAX, they decide to pretty much break them up, use the big guy, just like Vince would, to propel him to the heavyweight division, and use Homicide, who was actually before an ROH world champ, and use him in the X division. That's something I quite don't get, instead of using them as the tag team as they want to be. Just my thoughts on that. Excuse me. Then you have the X division. So many great stars just lying around while this totally bullshit storyline. You have your new X Division champ, probably a first in the X Division. You have an actual heel who gets heat, and you have him feud with the ref. Of all people, he can't feud with anybody else around but the ref. And the one person they chose for him to go up against first was Consequences Creed. And then the Eric Young kind of thing is kind of going around, but it's not quite there. It's no true foundation to that storyline. The only true foundation in the X Division title would be Sheik Abdul-Bashir and Shane Sewell. Don't know why the ref is there, and I'm hoping to hell that he does not win the X Division title. That would just be totally disgracing the name, in my opinion, to have a ref beat a wrestler, an ex-wrestler who's now a ref beat a wrestler. That's just totally bullshit. that brings me to the World Heavyweight title. Probably, in my opinion, loses the most credit. Everybody always talks about, this is another thing, everybody always talks about how when the Divas Championship was first brought into the WWE, that it had no true prestige and was supposed to go upon that. Well, then you see if TNA, who actually took the belts, withdrew from the NWA and came upon this thing, and then you had Christian Head and so many other people, but they weren't these true legends, and there has not been too many TNA World Heavyweight Champions that we could actually say for ourselves. I think there's been 3. Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle, and Sting. What this tells me is that TNA has absolutely no faith in their wrestlers whatsoever. They're very fucking dependent on these guys that are not even going to last in the business 5 years or more. Instead of giving these guys chances, the guys that are 21, 24, 25, who can actually go at least 10 more years and do right by your company. The people that people want to stand by but don't know what that particular wrestler stands for. They have no real character development there. And then to take Black Machismo, put him in this gimmick, and to have him run that whole entire gimmick for at least 2 years? 1 or 2 years. Same thing with Sanjay Dutt, except Sanjay Dutt did get out of his gimmick, sort of. He kind of switched it up a little bit to mix with the heel. There's a bunch of stuff in the cards that they're just missing, and it absolutely pisses me off, because they're always going in different directions, which it just doesn't make sense to me overall. And I will continue to watch TNA barely, but I'm basically looking forward to Bound for Glory for one reason. Because if the main event is not 2 TNA originals, there's no point to watch TNA at that point. There shouldn't be no reason that Sting should be in there again, Kurt Angle, any of them. It's time for the new guys to actually shine. That's what everybody's problem is with WWE. What they constantly don't think that TNA has that exact same problem right now. I'm just going to leave it at that. Hope I was kind of clear on this. I was trying to calm down before, but that's what it is. Later.